Oh boy. I feel like that's how I need to start these videos from now on, because pretty much every single thing that we cover, it's an oh boy moment. This one is no different. So I'm not extremely familiar with who Boogie is. I know that he fought in Misfits. I know that he's been around YouTube forever. I don't even know what kind of content he created, but he seems like he's always kind of on the edge of controversy. And this might be one of the worst things that I've ever heard. So before we dive into everything that just happened yesterday, let's dive into the video that he dropped back in October of 2022 and listen to a few things that he had to say.
I'm finally in a position where I have to get back to work. And I'm not making any excuses here. You know, I spent a tremendous amount of money on dumb things. But the biggest issue is that I had a nice big nest egg. I took some financial advice from a friend, and I'm not pointing fingers necessarily. I took the advice, but I put my money in the crypto market in the wrong section, and I pretty much lost most of everything. But I need to get back to work. I have some savings, but they're going quickly. And if I don't start live streaming and making content and getting ad revenue and stuff again, I'm going to lose everything. And I definitely do not want to do that. So that's why I'm asking for your help today. And it's as simple as two groups of people here I want to talk to. The first of which is fans who just like the content. If you click on videos you like and you watch them to the end and you drop a like and you leave a comment and you share it with friends and you click the notifications, you do the YouTube stuff, you're doing plenty. If that's all you want to do, if that's all you can do, I love you to death. You mean everything to me, right? There's a second group of people who might find themselves able to do a little more, and if you're one of those people, I'm asking for your help today too. Do you like the t-shirts I have? This one's not in the merch lane shop yet, but there's several, and I'm making new designs all the time. And if you like a t-shirt, buy a t-shirt. I make like a $9 profit off of a $25 purchase. If you don't want to buy something from me directly, you can shop with one of my sponsors. That's always an option as well. If you like a product I'm selling, get involved with a sponsor, shop through them, use my code. If you're in a position where you only have like $1 or $5, you can super chat that when you like a video. You can pledge $5 a month, $10 a month on the channel membership program.
So the clip that we just watched is from a video October 6th of 2022, where he admitted that he lost a bunch of money. He was asking for help, offering to give you guys something in return as far as merch, content, so on and so forth. And then a month later at 4:30 a.m., he says, hey, so I debated not sharing this, but I got my official diagnosis today, so why not? I do, in fact, have a type of blood cancer called polycythemia vera. It's extremely slow moving and many people live with it for decades. No big deal. Now, maybe this is all just a coincidence. Maybe he really did get this diagnosis. Obviously, I can't say. He's not willing to show any doctor's papers, which we'll kind of get into that here in a little bit. But it's just interesting at 4:30 a.m. It sounds like my man just got done with a long run on the hub and then hopped online and decided, you know what, let me just take a shot in the dark and try to get some sympathy and stuff like that, because obviously I don't have money and I need it. Now, he's not selling anything in this tweet, but this is the classic approach. You get sympathy from people, you get empathy from people, and then you turn around and you find a way to turn that into revenue. Whether it actually worked or not, I have no idea, because I can't see his merch sales. I can't see his analytics. I don't know what he's making on his YouTube channel, how many members he has or anything like that. But I'm assuming it probably boosted it a little bit. And then just recently, CoffeeZilla exposed him for a crypto scam. So it seems like he's doing whatever he can to reach for money. And obviously picking a cancer that doesn't kill you for a long time, it makes it an easier grab, because you don't have to explain why you're still here 5 years later, 10 years later. You could just keep telling people, well, you know, we're working on it. Either way, I feel like up until yesterday, it was all just speculation. We thought that he was lying. Some people thought that he was telling the truth, and life just kind of moved on. But then this podcast happened yesterday.
Did the doctor ever tell you, or did he ever say the word cancer?
He said polycythemia vera, which is a form of cancer, as he explained it to me. And no, it is not secondary polycythemia, which is Nicholas Diorio's explanation for this bullshit.
So I think it is secondary polycythemia. Can you explain?
Well, then why would he call it? Why would he call it polycythemia vera? Why would he tell me that I have hormone markers in my blood that tells me I have polycythemia vera? Why does he order a bone marrow biopsy to confirm it?
Well, if he ordered a bone marrow biopsy to confirm it, it would be weird that you told us that you already had a diagnosis and a confirmation. If it
because the markers are in my blood, the hormone markers are in my blood.
Correct,
Destiny.
but you said that you'd received a diagnosis, but now you just told me that you got a bone marrow biopsy to confirm.
It's a diagnosis, and now we're confirming.
Sure.
It's called a confirmation. The hormone markers are already in my blood.
Yep. So I think what happened is, Boogie, based on everything,
biopsy, because I'm wanting to do that, because I'm praying to God I don't have cancer.
Now, when I first pulled this clip, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt because sometimes when you're put on the spot, you say things in a way where it comes across differently than how you actually mean it, if that makes sense. But at the same time, it feels like he may have just exposed himself because he starts off by saying,
why would he call it polycythemia vera? Why would he tell me that I have hormone markers in my blood that tells me I have polycythemia vera? Why does he order a bone marrow biopsy to confirm it?
And that part of the clip by itself makes all the sense in the world. You have hormone markers in your blood. The doctor's like, okay, let's make sure that this is what it is. Let's order the bone marrow biopsy and actually confirm it. And based on the context of the conversation, this is something that just happened recently. The problem is he claims he was diagnosed 2 years ago. Doctors would not wait 2 years and continue to treat something as cancer to then finally say, you know what? Let's do the biopsy just to confirm it 2 years later. It doesn't really make any sense. And he goes on to then say this.
So I think what happened is, Boogie, based on everything,
biopsy because I'm wanting to do that.
So maybe he misspoke, but if he didn't, it comes across a little bit weird that you're saying that the doctor said you have hormone markers, and so he ordered this confirmation test. But then at the very end, you say that you wanted it, and that's why it's getting done. So did he order it because you wanted it? Or did he order it because they're confirming it, which is normally what a doctor would do before they start to treat you for something as serious as cancer? Now, for anybody that doesn't know what polycythemia vera is, it's basically a blood cancer, but it can also be confused with polycythemia, which can be caused by other things that have nothing to do with cancer at all, and Destiny actually breaks that down.
I think that Boogie was told that he has polycythemia, which means he has an elevation of his red blood cells. Now, there is a cancer known as polycythemia vera, which is caused by a mutation in some part of your body that causes an elevation of 3 different levels of things that you'll find. One of those is the red blood cell count. However, when Boogie was talking about the polycythemia, he mentioned a couple things that I thought were interesting. The first was that taking an exogenous hormone, TRT, testosterone, that caused a increase in him developing this condition. So taking testosterone will not cause you to develop a cancer. That doesn't, not for this particular cancer, it won't. It will cause you to develop secondary polycythemia. The second thing that he mentioned was that his doctor ordered a sleep study. That's because one of the things that can cause your body to produce more red blood cells is if you have hypoxemia, which is a lower count of, or a low amount of oxygen in your blood for an extended period of time. And the reason why he ordered that sleep study is probably because Boogie either has pulmonary obstructive something, or he has, as he mentioned, sleep apnea. And sleep apnea, which is a decrease in oxygen overnight, can lead to a decrease in oxygen in your blood, which can lead to an increase in the production of red blood cells. All of the things that Boogie described, both the things that cause this and the treatments for it, are consistent with secondary polycythemia. None of these are consistent with cancer. And the fact that he's saying that they've now ordered a biopsy 2 years after. Wait, 2 years after. Let me just finish real quick. Let me finish real quick. Real quick.
He's not done.
Yeah. 2 years ago, you said that you had a cancer diagnosis, but now you've just said now they're doing a biopsy to check for cancer.
Confirmation.
Is this House MD? Are we treating a blood cancer without actually confirming it yet? For 2 years, you've been having a cancer treatment without confirming there's actually cancer there?
So based on the information that we have, I think it's safe to say that he probably has the non-cancerous version. He was treated for that for 2 years, and being that it is actually treatable when it's the original polycythemia, they probably thought, hey, 2 years in, markers are still high. Now let's do the bone marrow test. Let's just make sure that it's not cancer. It's probably what we think it is, but let's just go the safe route and make sure, because usually by now we would have treated it. So there is a chance that he might actually have it, but there's also a big chance that he played on everybody's emotions and tried to get people to support him because he wanted to get some money out of it and was hoping that more people would subscribe, more would view his videos, more would buy merch, become a member, so on and so forth, because they had sympathy for the fact that he claimed that he had cancer. And that's disgusting. And just to throw some stats on it really quick, I was doing some Googling, and it seems like 0.05% of people tend to get PV, which is the cancerous version of it. So that's 50 out of 100,000 people. And the majority of those are diagnosed at 60 or above. So him being 47 at the time of his diagnosis, he's even in a smaller percentage, because you figure there's 0.05% in general that get it. And maybe 20% of that 0.05% are below 60 or even below 50. So it's like the chances that that's what he actually had are extremely rare. Now, obviously, he might really have had it, right? Some people are going to get it. Someone has to be that small percentage. But it just seems unlikely, the timeline of things, the need for money, the fact that he won't share any of his medical records.
Never showing any of these in my medical papers. yourself. I said that 2 years ago, and I'm staying by it now. Destiny, Jackson Clark, Keemstar, you can see it when I die. It's my goddamn medical record. I've given you every goddamn phone call. I've given you every text. I've given you. It's never made a single goddamn thing better. I'm not gonna do it. Go yourselves.
You could easily end this right now by just showing.
I would rather you continue to LARP.
It just starts to add up to sound like a bunch of bullshit. And I don't want to throw anybody under the bus that's dealing with cancer, but it doesn't seem like it. Because if I was in his shoes, and I feel like all of you guys probably feel the same, I'm just showing the papers. I'm just going to show you the medical papers that say this is what I have. This is a weird place to draw a line. You don't draw a line at the crypto scam. You don't draw a line at any of these other situations, but you draw a line as showing your medical papers. And people have even offered to donate to his care if he shows those papers and proves it. Destiny said he'd do 5,000. I think Mudahar said he would do 50,000. Someone else offered 15,000. So between everybody, this man would make like $70,000 or more off of proving that he has it, and that could go towards his care, which he's trying to raise money for. But yet he doesn't want to do it because that's his privacy and he draws a line there. But yet he's shared it with the internet. So if you're going to share it with the internet, at least show them. This is something I've said so much. Like when someone does a GoFundMe and they're like, yo, I'm in a spot, I need this because I need to move, or this happened to me or that. Once you get that money, you should show people what you did with it. Prove to them that you actually used it for what you said. Don't just give this information and then just disappear and try to get as much as you can out of it and never prove anything. It doesn't make any sense to me. That's all I'm trying to get at. And then he even said this at the very end, which to me was the most damning piece of evidence.
Is it possible that next time you see your doctor, you just come out and say, do I have cancer? And he says, well, no, it could turn into cancer. Is that possible?
I guess that's possible.
So
I would have a really strong case for malpractice, but I guess that's possible.
You're saying that's possible. A person that knows they have cancer would be like, no, that is not possible at all. I have cancer.
Well, I'm saying I do have cancer and know it is very unlikely, but I guess it's possible my doctor could be a quack. I guess it's possible he's been lying to me for clout. I guess it's possible that he's been giving me
I don't think he's lying to you, Boogie.
I don't need.
This last clip is the one that really threw me through the loop, because if you have cancer, if you were diagnosed, if the blood markers are as definitive as you said throughout this entire podcast, and that there wasn't really a need for the confirmation, but that you wanted it, there's no way that your doctor is going to suddenly turn around and be like, no, you actually don't have cancer. If there is such a thing as clout for a doctor, it's doing right by their patients and getting good reviews so more people want to go to them as a doctor, not just saying shit just because and then suddenly pulling it back 2 years later. So something just seems really fishy in this. This man was out for money. He was needing it because he decided to invest in crypto, took the wrong advice, lost all of his money. A month later, suddenly he has cancer. He wants people to subscribe, to become members, to buy his merch, so on and so forth. He's been milking it all this time, and now suddenly he won't show any medical papers. He's now suddenly getting a blood marrow test to confirm it 2 years later, which is crazy to me, because if they were that convinced you had it, then either they wouldn't need to confirm it, or they would have wanted to confirm it back then 100% before they start to bring you through treatment. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. And I'll be honest with you, if by chance it came out and he proved that he actually had it and showed his medical papers, then he's just one of the dumbest human beings on earth, because he let it get to this point and he said so many stupid things that leave you in the other direction thinking that there's no way that this is true anymore, only to find out that it is. It's like it's just a mind-blowing situation. It's possible he has polycythemia, if he even has that. This man might just be lying about all of it at this point. I honestly don't know, but there is a chance that that part is true, and there's nothing really that dangerous about that. You can fix it as long as you do the right things in life. So I just wanted to talk about this because it was all over Twitter, and I think that this is one of the most disgusting lies that you can make up on the internet, because of the amount of people that have dealt with cancer, that have dealt with friends and family that have dealt with cancer. It's not something that you joke about. It's not something that you use to try to gain money. It's just not something that you lie about. It's one of the worst things that you can do. And now he's deleting all of his social media. So it is what it is. But let me know what you think down below. I'll catch you in the next one, homies.